The fan would pull down the mask as she was speaking, which obviously is problematic at this point for any number of reasons. In the end, 2 men and 2 women were removed from the game. She had a lot to say later on Snapchat. We'll have more on that in a moment. First, let me show you how the game ended. Under 2 minutes to play, Hawks down 4. Trae Young, that's his only 3 of the night. He had 25. It's a 1-point game. Just over a minute to play. Still a 1-point game. LeBron, top of the key. Lakers had just 7 threes on the night, but that one makes it a 4-point Laker lead, and then under a minute to play, same score. Hawks down by 4. Need a bucket. Don't need this. We got defense. We got transition. We got LeBron going the other direction. Yes, and it's good. 21, 9 assists, 7 boards. The Lakers get the win, 107-99. But afterwards, this was what LeBron was talking about.
I'm happy fans are back in the building. I miss that interaction. I need that interaction. We as players need that interaction. I don't feel like it was warranted to be kicked out. There was a back and forth between 2 grown men, and then when someone else jumped into it and said their piece, and it kind of got blown out of proportion.
So he never really seemed that upset about it. Again, her reaction was widely seen on social media last night. And then LeBron, after seeing that, tweeted, "Courtside Karen was mad. The Hawks are one of 9 NBA teams currently allowing fans."
And we start with the NBA. 4 fans ejected. They had a little bit of a verbal spat with LeBron James as the Lakers end their road trip with the victory, 107-99. This, by the way, came in Atlanta. This is LeBron James saying he sort of enjoyed this back and forth.
I miss that interaction. I need that interaction. We as players need that interaction. I don't feel like it was warranted to be kicked out. There was a back and forth between 2 grown men, and then when someone else jumped into it and said their piece, and it kind of got blown out of proportion. It's just like sometimes on the floor when 2 guys get into a scuffle, or get into a little like jostling, and the refs come and try to break it up really fast, and it looks like it's bigger than what it really is. That's what it pretty much was tonight. But the difference, we're on the court and we're not having any alcoholic beverages. So they might have had some alcoholic beverages on the side, so that could have made them feel a little tougher than what they really are, I would say.
Huh. I didn't realize.
That's what happens when you have those courtside mojitos.
I was about to say, I didn't realize they were courtside.
Yeah.
Because most of the games with the fans in, they're several rows back. They're kind of close right there.
No.
I didn't realize that.
Well, look, they're not. Actually, when LeBron, this is the second time this has happened in Cleveland with an executive that was sitting courtside. A lot of these states are allowing, fans to sit courtside. And here's what I would say. They got removed because they removed their mask. But I love the fact that fans are actually able to engage in trash talk. And I know LeBron James feels the same way. This is their chance to actually take their competitive thoughts to a different level and allows players to interact with them, which is what we all want. That's what we're missing from live sports and having fans in there.
Yeah, that's cool, but I don't need them that close to me.
What do you mean you don't need them that close to you?
Not right now, man. Go up a few rows, dog. Go up a few rows and you can scream and yell all you want. Too close to
what they did in Miami, they're having dogs that actually smelling the scent of COVID, whether you believe that or not. It'd be interesting to see what the science says about that. But they're going through all these different measures to have fans back in the arena. I like having fans back in the arena. I think
it's great to have fans back in the arena, but I don't need you sitting courtside, dog. No. Go up a little higher.
Yeah, and bottom line, this is a headache for the NBA. If 3,000 fans getting into the building is not worth this sort of interaction for LeBron and the negative images the league is going to get. If you're going to put 20,000, let's be honest, the Hawks don't draw a lot of fans, but when somebody like LeBron comes to town, Atlanta's a weird city. It's a pro sports city that's more of a college sports city, but when LeBron or Michael would come to town, the place would fill up. So the Hawks generally don't fill their building anyway, but to me, if you're allowing a handful of people inside the building and the trade-off is having this discussion this morning, it's not worth it for the NBA.
First, basketball-wise, I wanted to ask you about that group, the kind of new group, you and the rest of the bench guys with THT and Caruso. It was an 8-0 run in the fourth quarter to start against Boston. Tonight it was 11-0, 16-0 if you include the third. What's going on with that unit and why were you guys having success?
We just play extremely hard. We cover for one another and we run. Myself, THT, Caruso, Kuz, and Trez. We got a lot of energy, a lot of speed, and we just play a lot of ourselves basketball. That's our whole team, but that group in particular.
And so you've got the Built by Black History shirt on. Obviously, Black History Month. You're there in Atlanta. I just wondered, LeBron, could you summarize this whole year, going back to George Floyd, the tragedy, everything that you went through, and now this Black History Month, what it means for you and just kind of for everybody?
To keep it all real with you, Mike, Black History Month is every month. They just happen to give us the shortest month of the year, but Black History Month is all 12 months for me. You know, we celebrate Black excellence every single day of the year, 365 days, and go around my household and around the people I'm around. So, you know, I love the fact that we get to celebrate it for a full month, and people, you know, that may not know about it kind of come together and things. But at the end of the day, I celebrate Black excellence every single day. And Black History Month, I would say, is Black History Day. 365 days of the year, 66 on the leap year. So that's just how we rock around here. And you know, but it's cool to get it started now, and we'll just keep it going throughout the rest of the year and January of 22.
Are you feeling any more recognition of everything you just talked about this year?
I don't live my life trying to gain recognition for anything. You know, you do what's right, you call out what's wrong, and you go from there.
LeBron, I wanted to get your take or your comment or your perspective on the interaction that occurred with the courtside fans who were kicked out, and do you feel like that interaction exposed any sort of loophole in the COVID protocol if fans can take off their masks to yell at a player?
No, at the end of the day, I'm happy fans are back in the building. I miss that interaction. I need that interaction. We as players need that interaction. I don't feel like it was warranted to be kicked out. There was a back and forth between two grown men, and which and you know, we said our piece. He said his piece. I said my piece, and then when someone else jumped into it and said their piece. But I didn't think they were, you know, should have been kicked out. But they might have had a couple of drinks maybe, and they could have probably kept it going, and the game wouldn't have been about the game no more. So I think the referees did what they had to do. And I mean, it's fine. I don't think, you know, taking down the mask or whatever the case may be at that point in time, you know, would have harmed anybody but the people that was right next to her. I wasn't close enough to her. I don't think any of my teammates was close enough to them. Maybe a couple of refs, maybe. So I hope they're okay. But you know, safety first.
Dan?
LeBron.
And you look like you're about to ask me. You like you're ready to fire off.
Well, it strikes me. It's, you know, as somebody you've said all year, like, I want fans. I want to see fans. Does that get you more excited than when you see some people who are, like you said, a little willing to kind of toe in those waters, whether it was in Cleveland or here, just seeing those faces that close to you?
Well, I mean, my guy tonight, he you know, I don't want to say he went overboard, but he went a little bit out of bounds, you know, too close to comfort for me. And I said my piece, and we could have moved on. But I think it was so close to the officials. I think the official heard it as well, what he had said. And it kind of got blown out of proportion. You know, it's just like sometimes on the floor when two guys get into a scuffle, you know, or get into a little, like, Johnson and the refs come and try to break it up really fast, and it looks like it's bigger than what it really is. That's what it pretty much was tonight. But the difference, we're on the court and we're not having any alcoholic beverages. So they might have had some alcoholic beverages on the side, so that could have, it made them feel a little tougher than what they really are, I would say.
But to be clear, you were happy. You were happy that this happened, though, right? Like, you enjoyed this.
Who, me?
Yes.
I love our fans. Laker Nation and everybody else that's against Laker Nation. It just feels better. Fans in the stands it's just better. It's better for everybody. Especially on the last game of a 14-day road trip.
Kyle? Hey, LeBron, I'm gonna have to have an alcoholic beverage after this.
Me too. You ain't the only one.
But to ask a basketball question here, you guys, the last two games have had come down pretty close. You guys make these defensive plays. How much pride do you take in sort of reinforcing that the defensive identity you guys had last year in these close situations?
I take all the pride. Listen, man, I take just as much pride on the defensive end than I do on the offensive end. Things that you cannot control on the offensive end if you shoot the ball well. You know, sometimes the ball don't go in